What's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another The Shy Talk. This is a recap of episode 4, season 5 of The Shy, entitled On Me. I don't talk about everything that happened on the episode, just to highlight. So if it's something that you would like to discuss that I don't discuss, you could just drop it in the comment section below. If you choose to like, comment, and subscribe, be my guest. But if not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get right into this thing. So the opening scene was fire. The song fit perfectly from what we saw. And so we saw Gemma, Maisha, Keisha, Lynnae, and Rosalind. They are all getting ready to start their day. Gemma is getting blazed in her house, while we see Duda's play niece and Trigg's fake girlfriend, Tiara, asleep in Rosalind's bed. I was like, hold the hell on. What in all the hell is going on? Now that blew me. I was not expecting that. Now, the character who plays Tiara, I promise she looks like a grown-up Gemma. Though they look like they could be sisters in real life. Those genes are strong. I know I ain't the only one who noticed that. So we see Marcus and Gemma, and he's waiting in the car for Gemma to come outside. We find out that she's about to go take her SATs, but she believes that it's not as important as it was in her Father's Day. And so Marcus is so pressed with Gemma fulfilling the plans that he has for her that he is not concerned with what she wants. And they had a similar conversation about colleges last season, and her response was very similar. You know, Marcus has this dream school for Gemma. It's not her dream school. She doesn't even want to go to the school. And I do understand, like, when you're in this time in your life where your kid's about to go off to college and you have all these dreams and aspirations for them, but their path and plan may be completely different. And I do know that in those situations, it will cause a child to act out in many different ways. And so Marcus tells Gemma, like, hey, if you gonna smoke reefer, do it outside. This girl says, it's freezing, as if, yeah, I'm gonna smoke my weed, but it's too cold for me to do it. Just the fact that, one, he knows she's smoking weed. Two, he's not doing anything about it. So I'm like, so you're cool. You're cool with your daughter smoking weed. Okay, everybody parent differently. My mama would have slapped fire out of me if I would have told her something like that. I'm like, Marcus, I do understand that, you raising Gemma on your own, but I'm going to need you to be a little bit more authoritative when it comes to certain things your daughter is out here doing. So we get to Jada and Darnell. So they're laying in the bed, obviously after a night of enjoying each other. And Jada wants to go out, but Darnell wants to stay inside all day and watch murder mysteries. And this was so on brand, and this was so funny because it really made me think about this guy I used to date back in the day, and he was obsessed with 48 Hours, the first 48. I had never watched it before. And because of him, it's like I had to take a step back because it was too much violence. But it became one of my favorite shows. And they would have like marathons on A&E. And we would just lay in bed and watch the whole thing. So that brought a lot of memories. And I'm like, that's just so on brand for Darnell. So Jada tells him that they should hold off on having sex until he takes her out, like on a proper date, on a real date. And that she should be treated like the queen she is, and that her standards are high. And I said, you know what? Even though she chose Darnell, this is my opinion. What's his name? Suede. Suede was the one who elevated her standards. He was the one that treated her how she should have been treated. Now, he was young, but he definitely treated her better than any man that we know of from her past. So I was like, she's able to walk around with this, I don't want to say chip on her shoulder, but she's able to see how one can function when it comes to her, how to treat her, how to wine and dine her, how to make her feel good about herself. And, she never experienced that with Darnell. So basically, to sum up their storyline, Darnell ends up going out and he gets him a new outfit. He gets some things for Jada, and they end up going out on a nice dinner. And it was at a nice restaurant, a very nice place. When Darnell asked if they had Crown Royal, I hollered. I was like, really, Darnell? Crown Royal, and he was like, well, whatever brown liquor y'all got back there. And Jada contained her laughter, but it was the response from the server for me. The server was like, I doubt it. Like, dude, you know we ain't got that in here. That was funny to me, but I actually enjoy Jada and Darnell together. I know that whole, fairy tale belief of, high school sweethearts finding their way back to each other. It can happen. The only thing I don't like is the belief that you can dog somebody out, treat them however you want to treat them, and then when you get yourself together, that person, is going to be around. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't always happen. It does, but that's just not logical for me when it comes to like someone really understanding their worth. But like I said, I do like Darnell and Jada together. It's just that overall, stigma of, hey, that girl you did wrong, man, if she free, go back to her. Maybe y'all can make it work. But, to each his own. So we see that Keisha is having a hard time trying to write her paper and take care of Ronnie. Like, she literally has a breakdown. And so she ends up going to Emmett's so that he could watch the baby while she finishes her paper. And, we're seeing the googly eyes and, he tells her that he's proud of her, and she says that she's proud of herself too. And I'm proud of Keisha too, after everything she's been through, that we're able to see her maneuver in the space that she's in. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Like it is a beautiful thing to watch, but we're going to come back to them a little later. So Gemma and Maisha, I love their energy and their dynamic throughout this entire episode. It was really cute and refreshing because for the most part, we don't ever see Gemma hanging out with girls. The only person we ever see her hanging out with is Jake. Like, we don't see her with like any type of sisterhood or any type of friends other than him. So I was happy to see that. So they're in the process of taking their SATs, and Gemma walks out of the session. So after Maisha completes hers, she goes to the restroom, and her and Gemma have a conversation. They find out that Gemma did not complete the SATs, and basically she asked Maisha, like, do you think a degree is going to help your life so much? And Maisha was like, no, but, it'll make my mama proud, and that's the least I can do. You know what I'm saying? So Gemma asked her that if she could do whatever she wanted, what would it be? And Maisha said that she would rap. So Gemma encourages her to do so. And Maisha was like, yeah, I guess I'll put up a freestyle. She was like, no, don't guess, like, do it. So they have their little moment, and then they end up going to Smokey's to get something to eat. So Peach, I don't know how I feel about Peaches. I don't know. I really want to. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So Peaches gets a room at the Trinity house. I am happy for Peaches because I actually do want to see her continue to, work on herself, get strong, continue to kick her addiction. I don't know if Trigg really believes that his mom is changed. Like, maybe she is okay for the moment, but it's not a permanent change. And I can't blame him, because when you are constantly disappointed, not just with parents, but with anyone in your life who you love, and you are being constantly and consistently disappointed because this person is struggling. And, the truth of the matter is, when you're addicted to something, you really want that person to get better. You want that person to be well. You don't understand why your love isn't strong enough to change them. And the reality is that person has to want to change for themselves. So hopefully Peaches is in that place. But when you have been disappointed so much, it turns out, you get into this mode of, I got to see it to believe it. And I think that's where Trigg is with his mom. So Duda tells Tracy that Roz wants to be co-director of Rock. Tracy ain't having it. Tracy is not feeling it, because she's like, hey, I did this in the memory of my son. I don't want no foolishness. And so Duda lets her know that Rosalind was one of the people that he had to call in order to get Trigg's record cleared, and Rosalind doesn't work for free. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. Tracy, it is the thing that gets me too, because we understand the dynamic between Duda and Rosalind, but I'm just like, girl, you walking around here, messing with this married man. Y'all are not being discreet about it. Like, you better let Rosalind do whatever the hell she wants to before she makes a big mess out of things. So we get to Lynnae and Kevin and whole Nina and Dre thing, and Kevin is so apologetic for what happened with her brother, and he just feels really bad about it and not completely understand. So we get to the lady from Children and Family Services. She informs Lynnae that her brother can no longer look after her. Dre wants to take Lynnae in, but Nina is being very guarded about it. On one hand, I can understand her hesitancy, but her energy just comes off as like so negative. She was even about to make a statement that her and Dre might not even be together. And I'm like, Heifer, you're the one who cheated. You're the one who stepped out of your marriage. You're the one who violated the trust within your union. And you have all the audacity in your ass to about to sit up here and say that you and Dre may not be together. And they're in counseling, like they're in therapy, they're doing the work. Sometimes I feel like Dre deserves so much better than Nina, because her energy is just like, I don't know if it's the way that the character or the woman, the actress, plays the character, but Nina has never been like a favorite of mine, like just never. So the worker lets them know that if they want to take Lynnae in, that they need to get a move on it, and they need to make a decision and make it fast, because she could become a ward of the state. So Kevin and Lynnae sneak out, and they're gonna go to the center to help Papa pass out food. So once they looking in the house trying to find Lynnae and Kevin, so Dre ends up texting him and be like, hey, next time just ask permission to leave and for them to come back at a reasonable hour. So we see Jason Weaver looks so good. I think Jason Weaver lost a lot of weight, because he's starting to look like how the old Jason Weaver used to look. He looks very well put together. He looks really, really good. So Trigg and Rashad, they're canvassing the community, asking what the residents feel they need in order to feel safe in their community. And there was an array of responses. They received many closed doors in their faces, but the people who ended up talking to them were very open and welcoming to Trigg and Rashad. And I enjoyed the conversation that they had once they got in the car. And, Trigg was basically telling him not to mess it up with this new woman in his life, how she has him looking, how she has him feeling. And Rashad was basically saying, like, a good woman can change your life, if you let it. And that, and I was like, get it, Rashad. That's true. A good woman, anybody good in your life who, speaks life into you or makes you look at things differently, has a way of changing your perspective. So I really like the path that Rashad is on, and I hope we can continue to see that. So there's a quick scene with Gemma and Maisha. They go to Smokey's to get something to eat, and there's this cute little banter they have, like, as they're ordering their food. It was just a really cute scene. It wasn't really nothing much to talk about, but it was just a cute scene between the two. So there is teen night at the center, and Gemma set it up for Maisha to rap. She was against it initially, but Gemma gave her a little pep talk, and Maisha got on stage, and she killed it. She did a great job. She dissed Papa in the process, and he was not here for it. Kevin laughed, but the look on Papa's face let us know that he didn't find anything funny. So Gemma talks to Maisha about being her manager. Then all of a sudden, so they in line getting their food. All of a sudden, the food begins to smell funny to Gemma. And I was like, oh, hell. Oh, Lord. Then, baby girl runs to the garbage to throw up. And I think we all knew what the deal was at that point. So I'm just going to finish this whole little thing. So they are in Maisha's bathroom. And first of all, I was like, why does Maisha have a random pregnancy test at her house? You know what I'm saying? But I was like, okay. And so Gemma is scared to sell. She's scared to sell of being pregnant. She was like, this just cannot be happening. And we find out that sis is indeed pregnant. And so it was a cute moment, because before they read the results, Maisha was like, do you want to hold my hand? And I was like, that is so cute. And I was glad that she had Maisha to be with her in that moment. And I really hope it is the start of a friendship between them two, because I think it would benefit them both, because they could both give a different perspective of life. So I would like to see that. So they're in Maisha's living room, and she's pacing. Gemma is pacing, calling on God. And Maisha was like, don't call him now. It was so funny. It was hilarious. Like, nah, don't call on him now, since you were a little too late. And so Maisha tells Gemma that, she needs to tell Jake, and that Jake is the type who would take care of his responsibilities. And Gemma asks Maisha if she's ever been in this particular situation. And Maisha tells her no, and that she knows how not to get pregnant. I said, oh, really? Okay, sis. So basically she said, you and Jake weren't using protection. I know that if I'm going to have sex, this is what I'm going to do. But then again, I was like, who in the hell is Maisha having sex with? I thought the chick was a virgin. But, we just the same way we could believe that Jake and Gemma was having sex. However, it was something that we didn't see. And so I know like there's a lot of talk where I saw a lot of comments saying that if Gemma would have stayed with Kevin, she wouldn't be in this situation. And I don't agree with that. Because the same thing could have easily happened with Kevin because she was having sex with him too. So I think a lot of people just have this negative perception of Jake, or they don't like the character of Jake. So it's like, oh yeah, she was bound to get pregnant and messing with him. But the same thing could have happened if she was, still yet in a relationship with Kevin, because like I stated, she was having sex with him as well. So we get to Tracy and Rosalind. I loved the soft, subtle way that Rosalind read Tracy's ass. Tracy lost a son, and everyone is sensitive to that, but she seems to forget the role that she played and that she has the blood of an innocent child on her hands too. And Roz had no problem reminding her of that. Rosalind was actually telling her, that this could actually be a good thing if you let it. Like, if you let this be, this can be good for everybody around. And Roz want to get Rock to the place where celebrities and famous people would donate. And Tracy was like, that's not what I want. And I'm like, baby girl, look, I do understand certain things. You can create something and get it to, function as a successful business. But there are just certain people who have forethought and who has vision. And Rosalind has that. She has the vision. She's already coming in there, seeing how I can make this better. So I loved Rosalind's energy. Now we know sis messy. However, I think that she has good intentions when it comes to this. So Trigg meets Fatima, who is a transgender reporter, when they're having their gathering at the Trinity house. And he's instantly attracted to her, but he tries to play it off. Rashad saw it a mile away, and Rashad encouraged him to be honest about who he is, and that people don't care who he's having sex with. Like, people believe in you, and Rashad really believes that Trigg can win, but he just wants him to run like an honest campaign. Like, you don't have to lie about who you are. And Trigg was listening. He was hearing, but he wasn't listening to what Rashad was saying, because he's enjoying the benefit of having Tiara, as his fake girlfriend, and the benefits that come along with that. So he's enjoying the cover up right now because it is getting him where he wants to be on social media with the likes and the followers. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. So Keisha ends up falling asleep on Emmett's couch, and he covers her with a blanket, kisses her on the cheek. It's a really cute scene. Oh, but the morning after. So Tiffany calls Emmett on FaceTime because she wants to see EJ before he gets dropped off at daycare. And Tiffany asks Emmett, why is he being so short with her? And he basically tells her, look, I just woke up, and, he'll call her before he drop EJ off. So when he hangs up, Keisha asked him, why didn't he tell Tiffany that she was there? And he said he didn't feel like he had to. And Keisha asked if he felt guilty. Now, Emmett never answered that question. He just said he just didn't think it was necessary. But I'm like, that ain't what she asked you. So Tiffany then calls Keisha on FaceTime, but Keisha does not answer it. And I was like, you know what? See, and I think this is where it becomes a problem, and this is where it can get messy and drama filled. This is my personal opinion. I don't believe that Emmett or Keisha have anything to feel guilty about. However, I believe they do need to have a conversation with each other about what's actually happening between them. And what are they going to do about it? We know that there is something there, but is it something that they want to explore at this time in their lives? Now, I know a lot of people don't like Tiffany. I happen to like Tiffany, okay? I happen to like Tiffany. However, I do feel like there are so many opinions about this particular situation, which is good. It makes for great TV and it makes for great discussion. I believe that in essence, we know that Keisha and Emmett were friends, have been friends for years. We know that her relationship with Tiffany changed after her whole abduction and, things of that nature. It's kind of tricky because I do like Emmett and Keisha together. I really do. However, I feel like they are so intertwined. They do need to have a conversation with Tiffany, because I know some people feel like it ain't none of Tiffany business. She don't need to know. I don't necessarily believe that. Because they're so intertwined. Keisha and Tiffany have become so close. They, you watch these other children. They are so intertwined. Their storylines. I just feel like, yeah, everybody may not agree with the decisions that Tiffany made when it came to her marriage with Emmett. However, when it comes to her and Keisha, they are friends, and I do feel like if you gonna jump into this wasn't just Tiffany's boyfriend or baby daddy or someone she was messing with. That Emmett was her husband. So I do feel like the three of them do need to have a conversation and just be open about it. Like, they were acting guilty for something they didn't need to be guilty about, because nothing sexually has happened with them yet, but we know emotionally there is a huge thing that is brewing between them. So the episode ends kind of like how it began. Gemma walking to the car. She was getting into Jake's car, and she looks at him and lets him know that they need to talk. And how the camera panned in on her, you can see the tears in her eyes, and that's how the episode ended. I thought this was it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff going on in this episode, but I thought the episode was really good. And, I'm excited about next week to see what happened once we see the aftermath of Gemma telling Jake that she's pregnant, and also what Marcus is going to say about this whole thing. So we'll see next week. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, y'all be safe out there.